What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Evening Alpha. I am your host, Todd, 26-year veteran of the comic and animation and fine art and startup fields. I've been around the block a few times. It is another beautiful night. It's Wednesday. It's May the 4th be with you. I hope everyone had a good Star Wars day. I did. I just got up and grinded, and here I am. It's pretty good. It's been a beautiful day. A lot of stuff happening in the NFT space. But before we talk about that, what is it that we do here? Why are we here? What is this about? Well, Evening Alpha is a daily show for everyone in the community to come together and really reflect on the day's events. You know, one day in the NFT space is like a month of real time. It's crazy how fast the stuff happens. And, I think it's important for us as a group to really stay on top of all of the current events and really track what's going on so that we can formulate our own opinions and continue to forge our own path, especially as large tech giants and all these other venture capital and everything is starting to come in. These giant players are starting to come in. And I think it's really up to us to really take charge of our own destiny. And so that's what we do here. It is a little different than any other YouTube channel because I'm not pitching. I'm not talking about, anything clickbaity, no top NFT projects of the day or anything like that. We just really check out what is out there, and we really try to formulate an opinion on it. So with that, let's see who we got here. We got Coffee. What's up, man? Welcome. Willie D, what's up? Let's fucking go. Let's do it. Hype. Hey, Hype. Welcome. Thank you for coming as always. Rageous, what's up? Hey, team. How you doing? Awesome, man. We got a good crew tonight. So, interesting stuff going on in the space. There is a couple of things going on. I thought I would cover an article that I found about the creator economy and how it's going to explode. And there's also a little bit of news with Murakami's drop. I don't know if you guys know Takashi Murakami. In fact, maybe I'll cover that first. I'm going to kind of do an audible. I kind of went back and forth on what should be to cover the topic. And I think I'm going to call this, and we'll see how far we go, because I think it's fascinating. And this is something genuinely, like, I want your opinion, because there's not necessarily a right or wrong, but it is something that is very unique. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Cool. So for those that don't know, here, let me pull this up. Give me 1 second. For those that don't know, Takashi Murakami did his flower drop. If you don't know who Takashi Murakami is, he's one of the top fine artists in the world. I knew a lot of friends that worked with him back in New York while I was working at Jeff Koons. I'm trying to type and Murakami Flowers Official. Here we go. Awesome. So if you haven't seen it, this is Flowers Murakami Official. Oh, let me share my screen again. Here we go. So it's actually really cool. He created so he's done flower paintings forever. Really iconographic and iconic works. And the reveal is pretty cool. They're pixelated, they're simple. I actually really like it. It's a nod to CryptoPunk, and it's also a nod to his own work. And these are all unique enough. They're pretty cool. I actually like them. However, there's a slight problem, and we're going to talk about that. And this is where I really want your opinion on this, because this is kind of a strange thing. So, Jiron ETH posted, Murakami is playing traditional art shenanigans, buying his own flowers at crazy prices. The wallet is being funded by this wallet, aka Takashi Palm, and this wallet. Basically, This is the account that has all the unique rares. So you can actually see in the sheet, in the screenshot, that NFT Matatabi purchased all of the super rare works. And this has been creating kind of a stir, because then you can see there's the address and they tracked it down. And I think you can even see, I can't see on there. It's different. Created by here is different, but it's basically him. And you can see the account has all the unique rares, MFT, MKK US, right? And you can see it's actually created by MFT, MKK US. So if I click here, I wonder if it's going to show me all the rares, right? Because this is the account. So maybe you hit it. So this is different. Yeah, so there's a bunch of rares, right? So he's got a bunch of stuff. Recently listed. Let's see, recently received. So he's buying apes. He's buying a Bored Ape. But you can see a bunch of his pieces in there, right? And some of these were probably fake airdrops. Like that rareable, that Murakami flower, that triptych right there is probably worth a fortune because it's so different. And there's a nod to his Clone X. There's another nod to his Clone X. So you can see that this account owns a large number of rares. And so if we go over to continue the conversation, Takashi Palm is sniping his own rares immediately upon release of the Murakami flowers. This feels wrong? ? And again, you can see there's the account. They have it tracked. There are all the NFTs coming in. He's buying them. There's his name and his company and his address. Like, it's pretty obvious. And this is a really interesting thing. It says, a lot of people are saying that this is fine. Maybe sniping is not the best wording, but it still feels unethical to purchase all the rares before the metadata has even been updated on OpenSea. And 80% of the collection is still unminted, meaning he knew what the rares were because he made the collection. And so the minute the rare piece was minted, he or his team was there. And so it's almost impossible to tell what's rare if you don't have the metadata. Before the metadata populates, it's really difficult to tell like what's rare and what's not, unless you're the creator. So he went in, and while there was 80% was still unminted and the metadata hadn't been pushed yet or hadn't updated yet, the minute he saw one of the super rares pop up on OpenSea, he purchased it. And he purchased it for a high price, which artificially sets the floor. So he says this sets a precedential floor price on rares in which he benefits from on the secondary. Ryan from Moonbirds did exactly this, except much later in the process, and it was not received well. Curious why others feel differently here when it's happening at a much larger scale. Common sense says to wait until they are all minted and then go ham if you want, once everyone is operating on this with the same information. And then Darlington says he did this on the Clone X reveal also. And so there's definitely a back and forth. This person says fair game. He's buying at probably over market value. Metadata is public. Of course, it wasn't public at the time he purchased. Completely agree that this is not. It creates artificial hype and basically leveraged insider trader knowledge to buy up the most valuable assets. I've seen it across a lot of projects, and it takes advantage of the community. And then this person says he backs his own creation and thinks it's worth collecting the higher priced ones. That's called integrity. Be willing to buy what you sell to others. What's wrong is creators doing a cash grab mints and buying 0 pieces off the secondary. Now that's wrong. That's weird. That's kind of a weird take to me. I think I don't have a problem if a creator wants to, like, once the whole mint is done and there's been some trading and everything settles, if the creator wants to pay to purchase something, I think that's fine. But again, it's not for you. As a creator, you're not minting for yourself. You're minting for other people. You're putting this project out there for other people. So I think it is a little shady for Takashi to go in and buy all his shit. Plus, the other deal is that you're never going to get it. Like, if you go from high to low, And here's all the pieces that Takashi owns, assuming, that they're the rare ones. You always have the people setting crazy fucking prices. But like all these rare pieces that he actually owns, he set really high. He's basically setting the floor price to match his paintings, or more. And I think that's a little shady because it's artificial, right? If it destroys the idea of what the market can be, right? Because there's also no guarantee that people are going to buy this, right? And you can tell by the offers, right? Right now you have an offer for 5.5, an offer for 7.9, an offer for 3.5, 7.1, 7.5. So people recognize 7.5. So people recognize that this is worth above mint, right? I think the floor is like 4 something. There's an offer for 8.8. This one last sold for 30. That might have been Takashi buying it from somebody. 8.8. So right now the market is saying that these are worth, the rares are worth about 8, maybe a little more. You've got some crazy ones like 27 ETH, some others. Yeah, they're trying to set it for 150 ETH. So what it's doing is it's creating a really false sense of what the market is. The market is saying that it's worth, and these are probably lowball offers. They're always low, but let's give it another 20%. So really the super rares right now are about 10 to 15 ETH. Let's double it. Let's just say 20, maybe 30 max. But he's purchased them and set the floor price for 380 ETH or whatever. And I think that's really going to do damage to his market in the NFT space, because who the fuck wants to buy it? No one's going to buy it, right? Like he's buying it for 0.3. He's buying all of his own work, 0.2, and he's getting it at a discount. And this is a guy who can afford it, right? And he's also not selling. Best offer is 7. He probably best offer is 7. He's not selling. Here's 25, 35, 30. So clearly the market thinks that these are worth, again, you could even bump these up. So let's say, because these are like the Clone X pieces, let's say that those are, maybe if those are lowball, maybe they're worth 40 or 50, right? Maybe 60 tops. Not what he's asking. So it's just minted, right? So they mint it and he kept it. And so I think that's pretty wrong. So he kept some for himself, and then he went out and bought the rest of the rares. So it's a little strange. And I'm just curious. I'm curious what you guys think about this, because I think it's actually fucking up his mint, because he started off. So it's a 4.6 pre-reveal. It was like, I think it went up to like 6, or it definitely was over 5 point something. And I think it went into the 6s. So now post reveal, it's gone down to 4.5, which is normal. But now there's like this artificial cap that, everything up until that point, there's going to be, I would expect there to be a massive gap between the mid tier, what the price actually is, and what he's setting as the high price. Willie D says shady practice. Yeah, right. Like I know this. So I was actually really surprised that there's a back and forth on this. That some people are like, oh, it's totally fine. I'm like, man, it's only fine if you're not the one trying to buy it. You're ripping off it's not ripping them off. I would say this: you're destroying the fun for people to open up that blind box and get that like once in a lifetime opportunity. You're taking their opportunity away from them, right? I have had the luck of once or twice buying an NFT in a blind, like we all do, minting something, and then having it be like a really good surprise. You're like, holy crap, I can't believe my luck. That's all gone. He took all of it. And I think that's kind of shitty. And unfortunately, I love Takashi's work. I'm a huge fan. Actually, I've got his books. I've got a lot of his stuff, like his books anyway. But it makes me, I was actually really excited to get something on secondary, and now I don't think I will. Coffee says, seems pretty not cool to artificially try to set the market price on the rares, right? Like he could buy the whole collection, right? I mean, he's got that kind of capital. His pieces sell for hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars. And I understand that I think what he's trying to do is protect his market. I think he's like, oh, I don't want these pieces to sell for less than like my gallery stuff would. Well, then don't do this. Don't do NFTs. Damien Hirst with Currency did it. He did it right. All credit to Damien Hirst. Like, he just let it rip, man. He was like, okay, here it is. Here's the floor. I think it went on sale for 0.2, which is crazy low for him. Maybe it was a little higher. No, I think it was like 0.2. And and those things are like, I think 3 or 4 ETH right now. So like, they're great. He let it ride. I think that's wonderful. You let the market decide. Master Chief says, those flowers look terrible. I thought they would do well. Yeah, I knew they would be pixelated, so I knew what to expect, but these really look they don't look as good as I was hoping. But they're also Takashi Murakami. It could be a cartoon poo and it would still be dope. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I'm really disappointed in I'm disappointed. The artwork, fine. I kind of knew what it would look like. I agree with you. It could have been better. Some of the colors could have been better matched. Especially because he has all of this. Like, he's got 1 million flowers. Like, I don't understand. So the way he works, if you don't know, his paintings are screen printed, but they're master. His team, in the way that Jeff Koons is a master with like predictivism and mechanical creation, meaning using technology and using like photorealistic painters and everything is perfect with Jeff Koons' work. Well, in Murakami's work, Murakami is probably the world's foremost screen printer in that his screen print technique now and his studio screen printing technique is so meticulous as to be perfect. It's crazy. If you've never seen one of his paintings up close and personal, I highly recommend it. It doesn't even look real. It looks like it's like someone took a digital piece and just printed it out. It's perfect. And one of the ways that he makes his work is that these are all Illustrator files. Do I have the book I don't know if I have the book in my reach. Let's see. No. I really want to show you guys, but I don't have it. I don't have it in where I can see it. But basically what he does is he builds these things in Illustrator. So he has Illustrator flowers, and there's just like, he has 1 million different colors, and they're gorgeous. They are gorgeous, gorgeous, perfect colors. And I'm just like, why on God's green earth did you not do that? Like, why didn't you just use the colors you already have? Like, they would have been so dope. Master says, let me rephrase. I thought it would do well because the art looks terrible. You thought it would do well because the art looks terrible. That's different. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you like the CryptoPunk kind of thing. I did think the artwork was going to look better. Like, this is kind of lame, but I knew it was going to do good anyway because it's Murakami and he's legit. I mean, he already has it. He has a huge history of art sales. I'm just really disappointed in I'm wondering if his floor price is going to fall because there's not going to be so many buyers because they can't get to that top rung. You know what I mean? I'm really curious about that. And just to wrap this up on this, Giorgio says, well, that Murakami Flowers tweet blew up and was quite polarizing, which was not really my intention. For what it's worth, I'm a huge fan and collector of Takashi Palm's art. It was more so putting an observation up to discussion to the community. Seems to be two consensuses here. One, he should have waited until large majority were minted to allow the market to evaluate the metadata and price accordingly or organically. Two, he paid high prices, the sellers are happy, and it shows the artist believes in his work, so nothing is wrong here. My personal takeaway is that both answers are probably right to an extent. I think for the people like myself who aligned with number one, the main concern was with the timing of this happening with only 15 to 20% of the collection minted at the time of the purchases. Many of the replies, DMs I've received have resorted calling me names and accusations I'm trying to FUD. Honestly, I have no horse in the race and shared an observation to my followers that blew up way more than expected. Hope to have some civil discourse about it. Again, I think if you really wanted to mint your own stuff or if you wanted to buy your own stuff, I don't see any problem with wanting to buy your own stuff. But I think you owe it to your community to wait until all of the all of the like hyperactivity that occurs with buying and selling and trading after a launch, wait till it settles down. Wait till there's an established thing, and then go in and buy what you want. Buying it, what he did, buying it at mint is a way to get it super cheap. And he bought it super cheap off of pieces where no one had the full information except him, because the metadata wasn't out yet. So for flippers, they're like, well, the metadata isn't out, so I'm just going to try to sell this for a few more ETH than I paid for it. Meanwhile, they don't know that it's a rare or a super rare. Maybe they don't care. But there was no option for them to even make a decision, because before the metadata came in, the guy that knows all of the secrets bought all of the secret stuff. Like it's crazy. Master says, yeah, these look like a step below punks. Yeah, they do. And I think that was on purpose, right? Should be blue chip. It absolutely should. Get the likes up. Hell yeah. Like, share, follow, all that good stuff. Make a comment. So I wanted to bring that to you guys because, we certainly had that internally as a team when we started out for the launch, and we made the decision that we would never, we made the decision as a team that, because we were blind minting, we knew that there was a chance that we could get primordials or anything else. So we contractually signed, all of us, an agreement saying that anything over epic, meaning legendary or mythic, we wouldn't own, right? So anything legendary or mythic, we would have to sell or give away or get rid of. We would have to put it on market at fair market price, or just put it into the community vault for giveaways or something, because we wanted you guys to have it, right? Like, I don't have a full set yet. I probably never will if I feel comfortable buying a primordial. You know what I mean? Like, maybe one day, right? I mean, I would love to have a full set. But I also think it's more important for you guys to have the option to have the full set. And that's my feeling of it. I think it's a little, I don't mind, like I said, I don't mind someone coming. If Takashi wanted to wait a few weeks or a month and come back and then buy some shit, like, there's no fucking problem with that. But to do it so early before anything was in and then just like take all of it, like, come on, bro, like, give me a break. That's a little extreme. And I think it's going to sour a lot of people on this launch, and it's going to sour a lot of people on this future stuff, and that's just a shame. Like, it just sucks. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys because I'm always curious what you think about it. We're going to jump over and we'll cover one more story tonight. This is the creator economy will explode in the metaverse, but not under big tech's regime. Independent creators and artists should feel empowered by the decentralization and not play by big tech's rules, especially in the metaverse. So it says, with news that Meta, and for those that don't know, Meta is Facebook. With the news that Meta plans to take a nearly 50% cut of virtual asset sales in Horizon Worlds, it will not be surprising if independent artists and content creators turn away from the metaverse entirely. Like, let me say that again. They're taking a 50% cut of virtual asset sales in whatever, I guess Horizon Worlds is their thing. So if you think OpenSea is bad, or the 5 or 7.5% that most of, creators take, with a 10%, usually 10% max between OpenSea or LooksRare or any secondary market and the creator, you think 10% is bad? Meta wants to take 50%. Like, no, thank you. It will not be surprising if independent artists and content creators turn away from the metaverse entirely, or at least from its meta rendition, no matter how excited the company might be about the creator economy. It's one thing to pay this much when the taxes go towards making life better for your community, but Meta is a business, not a charity. And it's not like your average creative type is living the high life. Streaming services have made life harder for musicians, and insurmountable creative fatigue has taken a toll on the variety and quality of creator-driven content across multiple markets. All too often, today's creators are left to chase the ever-changing monetization policies on various platforms, and landing a sponsorship is no walk in the park either. and I found this fascinating. This is the graph of income for artists, and it says basically the takeaway, and it's in kind of light gray text down here. It says 75% of U.S. artists earn less than $10,000 a year from their art practice. It's also worse for female artists. 83.6% are under 10K, and better for male artists, 77% under 10K. Either way, it sucks for everybody. 75% of all artists in the United States are earning less than 10K a year from their art practice. That's just so sad. That makes me sad. In theory, the advent of the metaverse offers a new way for the creator economy to blossom, particularly with crypto integrations and decentralized platforms creating an alternative pathway for creators to make money. In reality, the prominence of major centralized Web 2 companies like Meta within the metaverse space doesn't exactly indicate a warm welcome for independent creators, especially when you're taking 50%, man. That's so fucking lame. Absolutely lame. Master Chief says, pay me in Zuck bucks. Yeah, what was it? The coin he tried to launch was Libra. What happened to that? Yeah, typical Zuck douchebaggery. Yeah, right. Like 50%. Who the hell would like? The whole thing is an open. Web3 is open to everybody. Why would you try to even? Who the fuck would do that? Like, who would even go there and like, oh, 50%? That's great for Zuckerbucks. That's cool. The concern about these major players dominating the metaverse and Web3 space is not a result of anti-corporate hand-wringing. Rather, it relates more to the liberties and flexibility that would exist in this new creator economy. For creators that maintain a creative business through any major Web2 platform, these companies' reputations are the ultimate wake-up call. Yeah, exactly. Who after everything we know and what these fools did in Web2, who would ever want to be involved with them in Web3? Like, no, thank you. The hassle of entering the metaverse. Yeah, it's a hassle indeed. Although Meta is justifying its eye-popping fees by shifting the blame to regulatory roadblocks brought on by Apple, it's hard to see how that helps the creator. Big tech platforms are not the biggest fans of one another. We know that much. Yeah, in fact, Melissa, just tonight, Melissa was trying to help her mom with Zoom and realized that the Windows machine her mom had was in a safe mode, which meant she couldn't download Zoom. The machine would not allow Zoom to be downloaded. And we all know that's because Microsoft has competing products to Zoom. Just absolutely lame. For all the flack NFTs get, they do offer creators a better shot at turning a decent profit. Even though they have their own flaws, how many of the early sales were snatched by bots? There are ways around those. Creators can count early buyers through a democratized whitelist platform like SparkWorld. What the hell? I've never even heard of SparkWorld. Putting the traditional whitelisting on an equitable footing where everyone gets a fair shot at the game. Furthermore, with platform fees like Meta's, we can wave goodbye to price tags that actually make sense. If creators have to hand over half of their earnings to big tech companies, you're unlikely to see many more metaverse projects like Battlefly, which sells its NFT combat butterflies at very affordable prices. And let's be real, nobody will pay a Gucci level price for something that's not only actually real, but also not actually Gucci. I'm really curious now about combat butterflies. That's something that I have not heard of before. That sounds pretty good. Here's a Gucci sneaker garage. Let's see. Oh, it's really small. All right, they look like Gucci sneakers. Beyond pricing and fees, the other major obstacle for the metaverse creator economy is interoperability. As it stands, major metaverse studios only prioritize interoperability in their marketing. The actual developer scene is split between a few domineering projects, all seeking to have a metaverse monopoly with little interest in cooperating with each other. As it stands now, the centralized metaverse seems intent on hitting off the crypto community's centralization bingo card. This makes for a good selling point for studios crafting the metaverse outside of big tech's purview, give accessibility and freedom to independent creators, and they will make most of the work for you. It's as simple as that. You can hire 100 developers to build the backbone of your metaverse, but they'll never be as passionate as 1,000 independent fans who decide to make it their home. On almost like they read our white paper. Yes, 100% true. 10 people who are, and I would even change this around. 100 developers who can build a backbone of a metaverse will never be as passionate as 10 fans, people who are hardcore, who want to go all in. This goes back to the classic paper, the classic blog post called 1,000 True Fans. That basically was the inspiration for the crowdfunding movement, the Kickstarters and the Indiegogos and all of those platforms blossomed because of that article. It inspired a lot of people. Though it might seem beneficial only to have a few players making an impact in the metaverse, the incompatibility of the leading metaverse projects forces creators to choose sides. For example, a burgeoning fashion designer making metaverse wearables has to select between creating products for Decentraland, the Sandbox, or Horizon Worlds. All of these products or projects run on different engines and have their own software development kits and frameworks to navigate. It's unlikely that a designer or programmer has the wherewithal to create projects for all three platforms, not to mention the dozens of metaverses popping up along the way. Yeah, that's true. I do think eventually there's going to be a standard model or some kind of render engine that's invented that can kind of translate these assets across metaverses, or incorporate it. So you might have a metaverse that's has a capability for realism, but your character may be a voxel because it came over from Sandbox, right? I think that's more of where we're headed. Like, I don't think you necessarily will need to recreate your object in multiple different formats. I think whatever format you choose will be what is transposed across all of the different metaverses. But it is a thing. Everybody's trying to win right now, and everybody is trying to have their style be the thing that clicks, right? And I think it's going to be, I do think it's going to be very different. Like, Decentraland has its own style. Sandbox has its own style. Other Side is going to have its own style. Horizon Worlds, which I haven't seen personally, but I'm sure it has its own style. It probably looks nothing like Sandbox, right? Let's see. He says he knows late bloomer boomers will jump in, and that's where he prays. Yeah, I wonder if that's going to be his play. If he, there might be something to it if he's able to onboard people in an easy way who may not know this sounds wrong, but may not know they're getting ripped off. You know what I mean? PayPal is kind of doing the same thing. So PayPal established payments in crypto, and I think it's Ethereum and Bitcoin. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's both of those. But you can pay, like, through eBay and some of its other platforms. You can now pay with those currencies. You can buy in it, and you can buy crypto from PayPal. So PayPal is making it easy. Hey, I'll give PayPal $5, and they're going to give me Bitcoin or Ethereum in return. The brilliant side of PayPal's model, and it's a little sneaky, but they're playing the game, is that what PayPal's doing is they've bought so much of it, they've bought so much crypto, or they're buying so much crypto, like that the amount of interest that they're making is covering the money that they're giving to people in exchange for USD, for dollars. And they get to charge their normal, 2.5%? I don't remember what the actual number is, but they get to charge for the transaction. So you buy, $20 million worth of Bitcoin, and you stake it or whatever, and then your APY goes up. And then when someone comes in and says, "Hey, I want $100," you're just pulling from that interest. You're not even pulling from the principal. You're just pulling from the interest and giving that to them. And then you're also charging them, so you're actually giving them less because for the service fee. So they're actually making money on both sides. They're making money on the interest, and they're making money on the transaction fee. And Zuckerbucks might be doing the same thing in his own way, right? Like charging 50%, I just can't, again, there are reasons why you might be able to get away with 50%. There are fine art dealers get away with 50% because they're providing a massive service. I mean, they are the network, right? But with something like Web3, if you're an artist, you can kind of sell your work anywhere. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of crazy. Master says, need a metaverse translation device. Yeah, right. I actually think that's pretty much what's going to happen. I don't think you're going to have to make an object 18 times. I think it's just going to transpose and transcribe itself into whatever the native DPI or the native resolution is. So you start at a higher resolution and it'll break itself down. I think that's pretty much where it's going to go. PayPal just copied legacy banking. Yeah, exactly, right? It's the same thing. And why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? It works. If it's okay for the banks to do it, supposedly, like it should be okay for PayPal to do it, right? So maybe you guys are right. Maybe that's kind of what Facebook is doing, is saying, hey, we have the over 50 crowd. We want to get them into crypto. So we'll go through, I don't know, retirement stocks or games. I don't know how they're onboarding people. I haven't actually looked at their Horizon product. But it seems like such a weird play. Let's see. It says blockchain-based metaverse projects may lack meta-level brand recognition, but they can strive to provide a welcoming environment that emphasizes accessibility. While big tech can be slow to respond to user feedback and create bridges between worlds, the dexterity of the decentralized projects can push them ahead of the centralized metaverse model. While big tech can be slow to respond to user feedback, yeah. This goes back to having the community in from the beginning and giving the community, any community, the ability to have a real effect on the product, right? It's mandatory. I think the best products, like you're seeing it now. Like if you've been seeing our AMAs, and we're going to be doing a lot more AMAs because they're damn fun. But there's now when we launched in December, we were the only ones, and maybe I can't say that. That's not true. To my knowledge, we're the only ones doing what we're doing in our way, but there was really maybe like only one or two other projects that were diving into sort of the Storyverse concept, right? Where you actually help build the thing from the ground up, the universe. Now there's an entire collection. Like I know of at least a dozen, maybe 24 projects Boom, I'm back. Uh, wow, that was cool. That's the first time that's ever happened. Hey, let me know. Can you guys hear me okay? I dropped. That was fun. Hit me up in chat. Can you guys hear me okay? Hey, there we go. All right. Sorry about that. I was on a roll and I looked over and there was like no screen. Let me get back to this. I was probably like gone. How long was I gone for? I know Zuckerberg totally took me out, man. Serves me right for talking shit about him. Yeah, seriously, like my Wi-Fi completely swapped. It completely switched to a different network, like completely unbeknownst to me. I went to another world. Heard a weird explosion. Yeah, that was really strange. All right, well, I'm sorry about that, guys. I hope I wasn't gone too long. I was just on a roll. I'm just like jabbering on. I look over and it's like everything is off. I'm like, what the hell? Oh man, yeah. Sorry, Mark. Sorry, Zuckerberg. I'm sorry. Don't do it again. All right. Anyway, all I was saying on this section was that I think, of course, the big tech is never going to bring a community in to make decisions on jack shit. It's never gonna happen. Hype says, what you don't realize now that you're now in the metaverse. Hype says, I honestly thought, okay, I missed something and it was Lulbean's time. The simulation within this, totally. Big tech's never going to let you do jack shit, and it's really like our community and now the growing network of communities that are like our community, who will be able to actually do this. As I was saying, and I don't know if you guys caught it, but when we first started this, there was only maybe 2, maybe 3 projects that were story-based or world-based, where it was a community effort to make that thing. And now it's like, and you saw it with our AMA last night. You'll see it with other AMAs that we're going to be doing, because we're going to do a ton more. That there's dozens and dozens of projects now where as a group, you're coming together to make that movie, or to make that animated show, or to make that comic book, or to make whatever it is, the metaverse, whatever it is. It's a group effort. People understand that, hey, this is the mission. We're working together and we're going to build this together. And these big tech projects are never going to do that. It's never going to happen. It says, for centralized conglomerates that use the metaverse as simply another corporate arm, interoperability is not beneficial. Apple's affinity for vendor lock-in should tell you that much. For everyone else, it's a different story. When facing off with a giant like Meta, it makes sense to add value to products someone else makes if they do the same for yours. On your own, neither of you stand a chance, but together, you're one another's power multipliers. After all, the metaverse seems infinitely monetizable, but you have to be able to make things users want to buy, and the more platforms they can use their purchase on, the better. Yeah, so this is really interesting. This is another area that we've built on and we've talked about within the realm of our partnerships. So one of the things that we're doing is, as we partner with other projects who are interested in using our technology, it becomes a force multiplier, because you now have all these new communities who are coming to purchase the same like-minded thing. And when that happens, you're connecting basically at the node point, you're connecting those communities together, so that if the group helps one community launch a project and that project does well, then they come into the fold and they help promote and help sell out the next person. So I think as you do these you create these network nodes, you do become one another's power multiplier. And over the course of time, I think, and this is a hypothesis, you guys know I've said this before, I believe that over time you actually can create a sell-through of a new project purely by having a network. If you had a network of 10, 15, 20, 25 other projects that came before you, and everyone was on the same page and willing to help each other because they have something in common, which is using the same type of platform, then as it gets deeper and deeper and deeper, I don't know what the number is. I don't know whether that number is 5 partners or 105 partners, but at some point, a sell through or a sell out is I would assume, my hypothesis is that it's virtually a guarantee. And it's just a numbers game, right? Like you can pay an influencer and get 30,000 people into your Discord, or you can partner up with dozens of other projects and get the same number of people interested. And that's actually a better number and a better way to go about it, because those people actually care. So I think I certainly think that idea of a force multiplier is 100% true. Interoperability stretches beyond development and programming to also encompass factors such as community guidelines and monetization. Meta and Google are notoriously fickle and inconsistent with changing the parameters of acceptable and monetizable content. Just go ask any YouTuber how difficult it is to start making ad revenue on their content, let alone continuously support themselves from it. Why would big tech change its rule book in the metaverse? Right. They're not going to give you freedom, and they're going to keep that iron fist going because they're a Web 2 company. They can't do what Web 3 can do. They can't. They would lose their power. They would be torn apart because they're built wrong. And they know it, right? They've been so greedy that if they actually gave the peasants the ability to affect change, the peasants would affect change on their damn company. They wouldn't be here. And so they have to just lock everything down. In my opinion, excessive fees, platform incompatibility, and uneven community guidelines compound into a perfect storm for content creators to recoil from centralized metaverse platforms. Centralized metaverse platforms. Yep. As development lurches forward, the lack of support from independent artists will cause the centralized metaverse to morph into a mega corporate playground that lacks any enticing variety or culture to draw users in. As development lurches forward, the lack of support, independent artists will cause centralized metaverse to morph. Yeah, basically it's the Facebook effect. It's what you guys just said. Like when Facebook first started, it was 20-somethings and college students, right? It was super hip. I remember when people were like, I got my invite to Facebook. It's fucking dope. Oh, and we were all checking it out. Like, no way, it's so cool. And now it's like the plus, it's, older people. It's for older people to stay in contact. And I think it'll be my first metaverse for grandpa. I think that's what they're leaning towards here. Yeah. A metaverse that operates as a decentralized autonomous organization for its part can be completely transparent with monetization guidelines and allow token holders to vote on how creators can monetize their digital work. And you can bet that when Facebook creates their coin, their token, it'll be completely controlled, it's going to be awful. It's going to be, I assume it's going to be like almost like in-app coin game currency. Like I can't imagine that they're actually going to have something real. It may have its own chart, but it's not going to behave like its own chart. And as operational fees like gas costs decrease and more efficient blockchains and tokens join the fray, developers get to build decentralized projects that are cheaper for users to join. This also makes for a more inviting, inclusive environment for independent creators. Yeah, gas is certainly going to be decreasing. We're already seeing that now. More efficient blockchains and tokens, of course. Developers get to build decentralized projects that are cheaper. Yeah, so what you're really talking about is a maturing Web3 market. Like once Web3 matures to a certain point, you certainly will be able to have all that, right? More inviting and inclusive will come with that lower cost and less barrier to entry. The metaverse is meant to be an all-engrossing project that brings forth a new era of imagination and interaction to the internet and changes how users approach creative industries. A flourishing creator economy is absolutely possible in the metaverse, but if development continues down this incongruous path filled with financial and operational barriers, the economy will never materialize. Ultimately, independent creators and artists should feel empowered by the concept of the metaverse, not stifled by it. Two problems. The first is exactly what this article addresses, which is the big tech has a lot of power. The minute you have Zuckerberg say metaverse, like people run the other way. It's pretty funny. It's the worst thing ever, and I think he actually is a net negative on the perception of the metaverse because people do not like that dude. He has really, in my opinion, I haven't looked at stats in a while, but I used to, and that guy has a really low favorability rating. And so people just don't want to deal with it. The other problem, though, is the artists themselves. The artists, for every artist who is on Nifty Gateway and Rarible and doing their stuff, doing their thing, there's like another 10 or 20 or 100 that still believe it's a scam or it's not trustworthy or it's just for rich people. It's really shocking and sad to me as someone who kind of has fought for artists my whole life, and to see them kind of like piss themselves and run away from such a clear opportunity kind of drives me nuts. It's I want to shake people and just be like, come on, get with it. Like this is the chance of a lifetime, is the thing that they've all been waiting for their entire lives. And then when it finally gets here, they just like drop it. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to hear about it. They just want to avoid it. They just don't, they don't care. I think they must like being poor. That must be what it is. And now I'm looking for something. I'm on Twitter and I want to find something for you guys that I found that I think you guys will appreciate. And if I can't find it, I'm just gonna type in and try to do a search because it's damn funny. All right, I'm just gonna search because Twitter is just like too deep. It's one of those things. Like the minute you have it, it goes away in Twitter. All right, let's see if I can find this. If I can, it's okay. I'm just kind of jiving right now. So let's see. Let's see if I can find it. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if I can find okay. So do you guys know who Vitalik is, right? Creator of Ethereum. Interesting dude, super brilliant guy. Also, I know a lot of guys like this. They're developers. He's really brilliant and probably very socially awkward. Nothing wrong with that. He's probably super nice. But definitely on the spectrum as most incredible developers that I know are, and happy to be honest. Oh, it's blinking out. My audio is blinking out. Working now. Good Lord, I don't know what's up with my audio and stuff today. Sorry, guys. Poor people have more fun. It's true. That's a fact for sure. All right. Well, I'm gonna check this. I'm gonna show you this. This is not Photoshop. This is supposedly confirmed as being real. I have no idea where Vitalik is on this. But this is the guy that controls your future. You guys ready for this? This is the guy that controls your future. I for one am okay with this. I don't know why he's doing this. He's trying to convince somebody convinced him to do this. But there's the guy that controls all of our futures. At least he's having fun, right? And chat goes quiet because nobody knows what the fuck to say to that. Anyway, Master Chief. This is why I use Solana. Holy shit, that's funny. And what's crazy is like that. So that picture went kind of viral, and I won't show you the other ones, but it's not the only one. It's not the only picture. It's not the only one. I'm not going to show the other ones, but it's the same thing, but with other chicks, other professionals. I don't know. I'm shorting Eve. I don't get it. I don't understand. I'm like, where does he have his agent? Like, where was his handlers? You know, these guys have handlers. Like, why on God's green earth is he doing this to? Why would he allow us a picture? What a weird dude, but super, super great. Other adults. See, and I get blamed when you think we're bad. Like, come on, you know, give me a break. Anyway, guys, that's it. He was let out. Yeah, that's a little. I think honestly, he seems like a really sweet guy. I think they just asked him, you know, hey, would you pose with me like this? And he said, oh, sure, and not thinking anything of it, just being a nice person, not thinking. Just not caring or not thinking about what it would be. I don't know. It's going to be a meme now. It's going to be a meme for sure. Anyway, guys, that's what I got for you tonight. I want to thank you again for coming, sharing this with me. Not just this, but the evening and all the news and the updates. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave a comment. I want to know your thoughts and everything. It's also Dusty Sky's birthday tonight, so please, if you haven't, hop into Discord. Please give him a shout out and let him know that you're thinking about him. There won't be any lull beans tonight because I don't know how to do all that crap. He set up a game earlier, but we'll be back to normal tomorrow night with plenty of lull beans and plenty of games and more news. And coming up, we have on Friday, I believe. I think it's confirmed. I might be wrong, but we have another AMA, I believe, scheduled for this week. And next week, we're going to be doing a team AMA, and I'm going to try like hell to get this. I want to do it like a nice slide deck for you guys. It's going to take me forever because that stuff just takes forever. But I want to put some effort into it so you can see exactly where we are, where we're going. The full thing. We want to do this. You know, we did one a couple of weeks ago. We want to keep it regular for you guys so you know exactly where we are. Lots of stuff going on behind the scenes, and I cannot wait to share it with you. Hype says, big happy birthday. We miss you, Dusty. We do miss you. It's weird. He's not here, and it's a no distinct thing. Dusty was afraid to play against us. Well, yeah, Willie, because you kick his ass. Like you kick my ass. You kick everybody's ass, bro. Like you. That's why he's not showing up. He lied. It's actually not his birthday. His birthday's in September. He just said it was his birthday, so he didn't have to play against us tonight. But we'll play against you. Anyway, guys, love you so much. Thank you so much for being here as always. And with that, I'll hop over to Discord. Won't be as hype as it usually is over there. But yeah, we'll continue, get back to normal tomorrow night with everything. Sorry again about the internet stuff. Who knows? Hype says, I'm afraid to play against you, Willie D. If you guys want, feel free. If someone else wants to post a game in there, I will show up. Willie D, if you want to do the honors, whoever, no obligation, but there is no rule that says you can't post a game in there. You're more than welcome to. We can all jump in. But with that, I will see you guys later. Have a great evening. And if I don't see you tonight in Discord, I will see you tomorrow. Thanks again, guys.